sale, other open houses, even if they're not yours. Okay, even if they're not yours, you can borrow them. There's no rules in our system. You got to pay attention to the courtesy of other agents and the MLS rules. But you can borrow listings, put them inside your account, and run ads on them and say, hey, here's an open house. Here's something that just sold. Here's something that's just listed, etc. Right? You do that for a couple bucks a day. So here is an ad from Wade Graham. This one here, planning to sell your Lloydminster home, find out the home value now, find out your 100% fast and free. So this concept, I think that fast and free, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of grayed out. This is, that's an important factor. People don't really want to talk to realtors, not until the last minute. Hey, let's see here. I got a question, so I'm going to answer it. So fast and free is really, I think, important to use, right? Let's see here. I did a valuation using webinar, but all we got back was a page, no property valuation, zeros. Yeah. I'm not sure, Richard. Put that in the support question, in the support contact support page, and find out why that did that. But over here, this is Wade's leads. So these are the kinds of leads he's getting in his phone, right? He's getting it, and so when people fill out these pages, they actually come either in a text format and an email format, and that's what happens when you're using our tools. Okay, so I won't go back to my blog page because all the nice pictures went away. Let's look at this one, landing page targeting buyers. Let's just look at this one because, I guess that is for buyers, right? So we were looking at that earlier. And so one thing we're going to do on these blog posts, well, first of all, we're going to start collating these blog posts and putting it on one page in the support system. We're going to start talking more about it and getting it in front of you because we really know that writing the ad, making the ad with the right language is what really makes these things work, okay? And that's really the point that I want to put upon you so that when you get off of here, it's like, yeah, Listings to Leads does have the right tools, but I do have to think about something. It's not just a copy and paste exercise anymore. Because I'll tell you what, if you haven't figured it out by now, a lot of people are familiar with this kind of technology. We are not the only company that does it. But I'm pretty sure that right now we're the only company talking to our clients about thinking about what you're writing, right? Because I know that there's prime sellers and there's home values and there's the list goes on of people that have landing pages, and you can go find them. But I know that it's just like, yeah, do this. We're going to sell it to you at the zip code level. Great, that's awesome. Your return could be negligible, right? I'm already hearing that. I talk to a lot of people, a lot of companies. They're not always happy with Zillow leads and Trillo leads and all these other things. And now they're not always happy with all these other landing page leads either. And the reality is because not many people are putting the thought into what makes these things actually work. Pizza Bean's on this call. He's got a couple good questions. I happened to meet him last week and his team. Yeah, and here he goes. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. Thanks, Pete. And these guys meet every week to talk about their strategy and how they can apply listings to leads. And so they invited me to one of those calls. Oh, here's cool. Oh, this is interesting. So, Pete, let me ask you a question. Is this page working? Coming soon hotline, Pleasant Hill condos for sale. Your list of coming soon Pleasant Hill condos for sale sent you via email. Is this working, Pete? This is an old school landing page that we use. Have you run ads on this? I'd be really interested to find that out. And I'll tell you what, signing up for homes doesn't always work well, but certain kinds of homes, this kind of landing page works really well. And usually it's distressed homes, right? Foreclosures and short sales, because people who are interested in those are really looking for a deal, right? And but when you're looking for a list of homes, like I don't recommend this if you're running an ad for Lafayette. I live in Lafayette. Lafayette homes for sale, right? If I present somebody with this, if you want a free list of Lafayette homes, fill this out, right? Well, no, because I do have half a brain, and I could just go to Lafayette homes for sale, and I could find them, right? It would take me 5 seconds. So why would I fill that out when I got a bunch of companies right here that's just going to give it to me? So that is why I'm not a real fan of that. We do have a lot of links in our system. Just launch a campaign, too soon to tell. Cool. Let me know, Pete. I'd be really interested to hear how that works. So let's get into listings to leads, and let's talk about, or actually, I think I'm logged in over here. Am I? Yeah. So about Facebook, this is more for you new folks. There is a call right here that says recorded webinar with Shannon Pyatt. And actually, we should put that this isn't, but he only uses Facebook pay-per-click advertising. Shannon is a seasoned, tech-savvy realtor, okay? He is not like a brand new realtor. And the reason why I point that out is that he tells us in this call that he no longer spends money anywhere else except with us at Listings to Leads and on Facebook pay-per-click advertising. Now, you can see that there's actually a call, or he put in our Facebook mastermind group that 90% of his new business comes from Facebook using our tools on Facebook. So I really want you to watch this call. And I'm actually, when he joined us, we taught him what I'm about to go through right now. But I know you're going to forget what I'm saying, and you're distracted with your phone calls and your smartphones. So when you can, come and watch this Shannon Pyatt thing, right? And apply this. This call up here is very cool. Neil Wolf has also using Facebook, but is also using one of our really great tools, interesting tools on Craigslist. And not a lot of people talk about Craigslist anymore. He's generating a ton of leads off it, so I will try to show you that. But back to the Facebook discussion, watch the Shannon Pyatt call. Go over here to the Facebook advertising button, that green button that I clicked on real fast, right there. And that will bring up how to place an ad in under 2 minutes. I am going to walk through how to place an ad in just a couple minutes. But also, how do you get the landing pages? How do you actually get a landing page, and how do you customize it? This is a really good video right here to show you how to do it. As I mentioned when we were talking about our blogs, and we got it here, what we know is it's just hard. You guys aren't going to remember to ever come back here again, right? So we're going to actually put a link in this page at some point to in this page, right? Because this page, you get to this by clicking this green button. And this is where we really want you to go if you have questions about Facebook advertising, because here you can see how to run an ad. Here's a really important Facebook call. Here's how to create these pages. So we want that language to give you ideas right on this page so that you can start to also think, what are great ads that work, right? So that's really the point, and that's what we're after, okay? So I'm going to jump to it real quick. There's a page here that says landing pages. And early on the call, before we started the recording, Pete asked, what's mobile responsive? And actually, in the two columns are mobile responsive. Mobile responsive. I don't work on smartphones. It's just not. That we go out and grab the information from Cole and pop it into your lead so that you have as much information as you get. Many times you're getting phone numbers, and many times you're getting email addresses. Not all the time, but that's really what it does. And I really like it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. There are off-market properties yet on, yeah, so that's cool. That's great. So you're doing that off-market properties with that page over there. I'm jumping around here. So Pete's using this page. I think you can make this message here on this page, Pete, a a little stronger. Because what you were talking about, what Pete is talking about, is he's using this page, and you heard me talk about it a minute ago, whereas this really works well for foreclosures, and we have it pre-built for foreclosures and short sales. But he's thinking outside of the box and saying, I've got off-market properties. And if you want to get those, fill this out. And that's a great message. I just think he's used our default message and changed it a little bit of language. Click the edit page, tighten up that message. And you don't have to rerun the ad because this ad is running on the link up here. If you've run this ad, it's just looking for this. Any changes you make down here will just automatically flow into it. So if you got the ad running, I would take a few minutes and go to the edit page of this section and work on this language, because in one line you told me there are off-market properties in there, and I'd get it. And as a consumer, I would get it. If I want off-market properties, which I do because properties are really hard to come by over here, I would fill that out, right? Okay, so back to where we were. This is my lead here. This is me. I filled out that lead capture form, and it told me this is the auto response for the agent. Okay, so we were over here. I'm trying to get back. I got a bunch of things open. This is my landing page section, and this is where all the fun stuff is, right? So now you know you get there by clicking landing pages, and because now you know where the fun stuff is, I'm not going to show you the fun stuff. I'm going to take you to the listings page, and I'm going to talk about the boring stuff that really makes the fun stuff work, okay? And this is dead on straight. You listen to Shannon Pyatt. This is what he's doing. We taught Shannon how to do it. We taught a lot of people how to do it. And if you want your business to really work well, you got to follow these steps. I got to close the door here because I can hear a phone ringing in the background. So about Facebook, yeah, I'm going to show you in a second how you run an ad. And I know you're really excited about putting property valuations on Facebook, and that's cool. But what you also have to do, what you have to remember when we talk about partial leads, is you got to build some kind of trust with your market, right? Your market is in Facebook. So unless, I don't know, you got like some big celebrity name that everybody's going to go, oh yeah, I'll fill out whatever this guy puts on the web, you need to build a brand where you expect to get those leads. And you do that on Facebook by running ads, not just about property valuations, but about homes coming, maybe coming soon, just listed, open house, right? Over here in the column, this is our listings page, and I'm sure if you're brand new to us, maybe you don't have any listings. Borrow them, get them inside. You can pull them in just by using the Grab Active Listing button. Just make sure you've got some sort of permission. We're not going to check it, but you've got some sort of rules. The first column is status, right? And AC is active contingent, just sold, right? Under deposit. So I'm going to click on the single property website here and show you that here is the property, right? Here's the property, and there's a bunch of things going on. I've got lead generation links that can point right to my website. Sorry, I got to turn off the music here. Really? And then it's under deposit. All right. So I'm going to close that because it's killing me. But the side links push right to your website. And that's a great place to get more leads over there, right? This is a market leader site. You got about 3 clicks and you got to register. So if you got any kind of website like that, you definitely want to use single property websites. They work really well and they look good, right? So here I've got, and this is just an active, and notice that my home is in Maple Grove, Minnesota. I got to give you information as a consumer to get information. Where does this take me? It takes me right to the single property website. And then what do I have here? A bunch of lead capture on the left-hand side. Okay. So those are the two tools. Over here, I got a lead just popped up. Those are the two tools to build your brand. Okay. And I really recommend, although I got to kind of put a caveat on it now, you used to be able to run an ad on Facebook for $1 a day. And that was like 30 days ago, right? And I would have told you then, run at least one ad every day of the month for $1 a day. Don't run it for 30 days, but run it for 4 days and make it look this way. And then run it, a couple days later, maybe not as open house, but maybe run it as just listed and change the pictures. Why? So that you're giving some depth to that brand. People are coming in and seeing you over and over, okay? And they're seeing different things. Now, on the Shannon Pyatt call, Shannon's been in the business a while. He's got 20 listings. What he does is every listing he always promotes for $1 a day for 30 days. Now, he might actually still be able to do that because he's got a lot, he spends a lot. He's got a lot of ads running all the time. But here's the point that I want you to understand about Shannon Pyatt and Melanie Banks, if you ever see her call, and also Neil Wolf, is people are calling them out of the blue cold and saying, I am seeing you all over Facebook. I see you are a realtor, and I want you to call me. I want you to sell my home. That is the point of advertising, right? What we're talking about is lead generation. But honestly, advertising, if I want people to know I'm a realtor so that they call me for some service. And 71% of adults in the United States are on Facebook right now, okay? 71%. In the old days, you could do whatever you want. You could have bought a bus sign. You could have bought one of the signs on the side of a bus. You could have put it in the phone book. You could have put it on the back of a colorful magazine. But a lot of those things are toast. And you don't know where people are. But I'm telling you right now, as of November, almost a year and a half ago, 71% of adults are on Facebook. So this is why you have to be on Facebook. Build your brand, okay? 2 great tools. Single property website and the listing landing page. I actually like the single property website more because it looks good and there's lead captures, all kinds of lead generation links right on it. And it's not forcing people to sign up right now. It doesn't look as cool as that listing landing page, but it allows the consumer to go, oh, well, there's something cool. I can see there's an agent. I can see something about this area and a home, and there's all kinds of lead generation links. I can find out what my home is worth. So I actually like this, but there is a listing landing page, and you should mix them up. You should use both, right? Notice here's a forced pop-up, and I got to close it, or I can fill it out. So that being said, let's now go to the fun stuff, the landing pages, right? And let's look at the number one page I like. And I'm going to go through a couple. If you hover over them, it'll kind of tell you, or show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to click on our first one, property valuation. And I'm going to show it to you and give you an understanding of what's going on here. Okay, there's a lot of things. Here is an autofill version, right? Which means it automatically pushes that your address. It can see your IP address. And I know, real estate agents, they get excited about the most ridiculous things. Scott's the same way, right? And here's one that everybody was all excited about. I actually have to click a button to say, yeah, that's my address. And you know what? It's an IP deal. And I don't know what it works like, but right now that's not my address. Okay? So first of all, before I even get to this page, I got to click something to accept that I'm going to allow this browser to jump into my browser. And you know how people are with security, and especially when you're trying to get somebody's email address, you're already asking a kind of a security question. So why are you going to force that on somebody? I don't know, but agents love that nonsense. Here is another one that says 2-page version. This is the first one we did, okay? And this one is just, here's how it is. I'm going to fill it out real quick. 1595 Huston Road. Great. We have the valuation. Give us the information. A little bit quicker, right? And that's it. That's just property valuation. And it actually, what that page is, it doesn't have a Zillow valuation built in. It just says, we will get you the valuation. You get a lead, they get that. Cool. A lot of agents don't like Zillow. They don't like Zillow estimates. And if you don't know how to work with a Zillow estimate, you don't have to use it. We got one for you. But this one here is Property Valuation Plus. This one here has a Zillow valuation at the last page. Okay, the last page, I showed it to you on the front. That's what that's for, right? Here's another one that says Property Valuation Plus One. Well, what does plus mean? Plus means there's a Zillow valuation in it. What does one mean? It means that everything is on one page, meaning, and we designed this because realtors were not happy with getting partial leads, right? Partial lead is just an address. And I don't want just an address. I at least want an email address, okay? So this one, you can't go anywhere until you give them the email address. So it's one page, right? Certainly works, but your lead generation volume just totally drops, okay? Just completely drops because nobody wants to give you their email address, right? You can understand that. Let's go back to landing page dashboard. And here's the one that I like so much, Property Valuation Plus. But before we go there, I'm going to close this. This page asks for the address first. I showed it to you earlier. Then it says, okay, is that your home on the right? And is this many bedrooms on the left? Yeah. Okay, well then you click yes. And then it asks for the contact information while it's saying, I've got your valuation. Okay. I would say 80% of consumers walk away from these pages before they'll give up that contact information. 80%, okay? So if there were 10 leads that I could have captured, if I had presented them with a Property Valuation Plus One, meaning I'm gonna just ask for that, you know, right up front, I might get 2 leads. In this way, I'll get 10, and I'm not trying to upsell you, but I am trying to tell you this thing works. If you have this partial lead converter, it's going to get you somewhere from 60 to 70 to 80% of the contact information. So those 10 leads, now maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 are actually workable contact, you know, with contact information. I like the idea. I think it's great because I want our clients to have leads that, more leads that work, right? And so that's it. Is there a different, you know, you got to think about conversion differently? Probably. But I like Property Valuation Plus. A lot of agents like Property Valuation Plus even before we built in this partial lead converter, because they wanted more leads, because they know, oh, I can find the owner somehow. I just want a database of people that own homes, and I will build from there. I see a question here. So right now, everybody, is a good time for questions, because the next thing I'm going to do is run an ad. So if you got questions, put them in this chat panel, and we're going to get into it, okay? Hope this is recorded. I can't take notes fast enough. Thanks, Tom. It is recorded. I am going to put it on our mastermind group this afternoon. So, yeah. But, you know, try to follow along. It is recorded, okay? So, first thing is, if you're brand new to this thing, you got to get pages under here. And I know that we are, you know, we kind of look here and we go, oh, I want to go right. That's what I want. I'm going to click there and make it there. Save yourself some time and go right here to box number 2 and type in the area you want to build your page in. I'm going to say Wichita. Hopefully I spelled that right. And definitely spell it right and capitalize it right, because it flows right into the tools. I know that there's a percentage of you that just don't like to focus on spelling, but in this one, please do. And click Save. And at that point, let's see if I hit it right. Once you do that, there's going to be a little weird message that says we've created a series. It's right here. And what that means is I now have a Wichita page under every one of these buttons. And some of the other buttons I recommend is the FSBO page, right? Scroll down to the bottom. There's my Wichita page. See the landing page. There's an article just out, 90% of FSBOs fail. Then there's this other, you know, sort of interesting data point that a FSBO will hand it off to a realtor in 3 months on average. So I don't know if you buy a list of FSBOs. I don't know if you see them on Craigslist. I don't know if you see them on Zillow. But if you get a FSBO, send them this and say, let me give you some free tools. right? Build that relationship. Pull their listing in. Go take some photos. Put your listing in your account and market it. You're going to capture leads out of it anyway. But you say, hey, if I bring you a buyer, great, blah, blah, blah. And all they got to do is start filling out these little check boxes here and click next, and that's how you capture a lead, right? We've also got in the same page a page for expireds, right? And you know from Real Estate 101 that when somebody's got a listing expired, how many hundreds of agents are going to call them in that week? At least 50, right? Do they want to talk to you? Maybe not. But do they have more questions because their home isn't sold and they want to get it sold? Probably. So get this in front of them, right? And maybe just start the dialogue that way. The number one thing I like people 2.5 mile hike. Everybody loves this thing in Lafayette, right? Even if you don't live in Lafayette, you still come over here and walk on this little lake, and that's nice. So I know if I run this ad in Lafayette, people are going to know that I know this area, right? I'm not just like a random company trying to get their email address. And you got to think about that, is what is local, and that's going to make me think this guy is in my neighborhood, right? I will tell you, I set up the offices around here, and I set up a Coldwell Banker in Summit. You may have heard me say this before. And Summit, I've never been to Summit. It's in New Jersey, right? And the broker, the manager there told me that the number one picture that pulls leads at the highest volume is a picture of the Summit Diner in Main Street of Summit. Now, the Summit Diner is one of those old railroad cars from like the 1920s, you know, the old school things, and they gutted the inside and they put some booze and they got a diner and you sit there and there's somebody flipping up eggs and all that. That is on Main Street, and it says in big letters on the side of it, Summit Diner. Been there for Lord knows how long, but everybody in Summit knows that. They know that thing. They're driving by it all the time. You need to think it says, where does it say? Right here, redirected form completion. What that does is, when the form is completed, when the consumer finished filling out the form, it should drop you on, it should drop the consumer on any page you put there. So you might have like a page of your website. You might have a page of why work with me. You might have a testimonial running on one of your pages, and you want people to see that, right? Or maybe if, Pete is over here running a landing page with properties that are currently off market, right? Currently off market. You're not going to find them anywhere. Fill out my landing page. And as soon as you fill it out and click send, the consumer, gets an auto reply via email. Pete gets the lead. And if he had those homes that are off market on that page, he could drop them right on that page. So I like it for that kind of stuff. Sign up for a free list of foreclosures. You might actually have a list of foreclosures on your website. So show a foreclosure landing page right in front of them and say, give us your contact information, redirect to form completion, put it in there, right? How do we use the embed code? I don't even know what that is. Central LA, Alexandria, Pineville, Downtown Historic District. I'm going to do the Pineville Downtown Historic District, okay? So, Pineville, downtown. So we're changing directions here, okay? What do we do? I just said, you heard Vince say that having a photo is probably one of the most important pieces of running ads. How do I get something that works in my market? Oh, it's in Louisiana. Great, okay. So I'm going to just put Pineville, LA. So I'm running a search on Google, and you need to follow this, okay? I'll go slowly. Click on images on Google, okay? And it shows a bunch of photos. And I think the question that Joanne had is, I can't find something that fits. So right here, search all tools. Click size. Click larger than and go to 4MP. This should work right here. First of all these technically from their size are going to work in the Listings to Leads landing page. You need to know that. Then there's something here that says usage rights. Labeled for reuse. That means you can use these. Okay? Now I don't know this picture over here, I don't know what that is. Doesn't look nice. I do like this picture down here. Now, I don't know what this is, St. Matthew's Catholic Church. Okay, I kind of like that. I mean, you can pick whatever you want, but I'm going to do this one. I'm going to click on View Image, and I'm going to right-click. I clicked on it. I'm going to save it, Save Image As, put it on my desktop, call it Pineville, and save. And I'll go back to my Wichita page here, all right? My Wichita page, let's go back to, I'm all lost here, Property Valuation Plus. Go down to Wichita, click Edit. Go to this section that says Upload Background Picture. Choose File. Go to Desktop. Pineville. Open. Don't worry about this Facebook share image. We should tear that down actually because it's not useful anymore. Redirect form completion we've been talking about. You can change the line. Here's one line I really like to change. Get your answer in less than 15 seconds. I definitely like to do that. This is really cool right here. If you go buy a page that says, you go to GoDaddy and buy a link that says, Pineville home values. And you say, hey, GoDaddy, point anybody that goes to that page to my page, right, to this Listings to Leads page. You save that in that little box, and it will pop it right in this pre-written message. And basically, you should edit this letter and just print this letter and mail it. And it basically says, I've got today's technology to help you get your home value. You know how you like to mail letters to your target market? And then you're basically saying, please call me for help? Well, no. just put in the URL right here that says Pineville home values, and I've invested in the latest technology, get your answer immediately. That's a good letter, right? Take your same activity and make it work. So that's a good place to know of what's going on. But I'm going to save an update so that my page in Wichita, I'm going to go on it up here. I'm just going to refresh, and it says, there's a picture. Get your answer in less than 15 seconds. That's how you do it, okay? And if there aren't any more questions, can you repeat what you just said about images and how to see them in the size? No, I'm recording this. That's why that's the whole point of recording. You can go to our mastermind group and see it there. Okay, yeah, great, okay. Everybody's cool there. So let's run an ad, okay? Let's actually go to Facebook and run an ad. Get your page. As you see, it says in mine, get your answer in less than 15 seconds. It's a picture that totally works in my area, and I am going to copy this. There's a link at the top. Copy it. You don't need to buy a URL to run ads on Facebook. You just don't. Don't make life complicated for yourself. I know you like to, because I get all these ridiculous questions. So go to Facebook. Yes, you need a business page. Yes, you need a business page to do this. On Facebook navigation bar, this system, you can target those people. So I'm going to type in the zip code 94549, Lafayette. And I'm going to show you something and really try to hear this one. And Scott, runs a lot of ads, and so we talk a lot about this. What this is doing is it's saying, my page here is for Lafayette. And I don't know if you can see in the map, but next door is Pleasant Hill, and then there's Walnut Creek and Orinda. But my page only talks about Lafayette. So I don't actually want this picture to be visible in Pleasant Hill or Concord or Orinda or any of that. I want him to live in Lafayette, and that's what this is doing. Okay. Now, if I'm running an ad to say there's an open house in Lafayette, I might want more people to see that, not just the people in Lafayette, because I want more people to know I'm in real estate. So I would like people in Concord and in Danville and in Orinda to know I'm an actual realtor. So I'm going to take a second and slow down here. This 949, there's another important point, and Scott and I are always testing and working on this. Scott seems to think, and we don't have enough data points to be 100% certain, but when you run an ad on a zip code, as opposed to typing in the town of Lafayette, they still cover the same area in my town at least. But we get a better pay-per-click rate by using the zip code as opposed to the town. You might want to test that and pay attention to that, because better pay-per-click rates are just better to have. So I'm going to delete that zip code, and I'm going to do this another way. I'm going to type in Lafayette, okay? And I put it there, and I want you to see what it's doing. It's giving me a little radius. It's saying everybody else, all over the place, 25 miles out, is going to see this. Now, again, this is a property valuation landing page, so I want to make sure people living in here only see it. But also, what if I was doing an open house? Do I really want people? Well, actually, in San Francisco, for me, yeah, I would, because I think there are some people that live out there that would love to get out of San Francisco. But the bare minimum is, I would definitely suggest 10 miles, right? Because all these areas around here, like Pleasant Hill, like Walnut Creek, Danville, I want to do business in those areas, right? Orinda, Moraga. And if you think like that too, then you want to think about that radius. Now, the other thing is the age group. In Lafayette, it's a little bit pricier, so I'm going to put minimum age 30. You can do whatever you want, 21, 25, but you probably want to put a minimum. And then there's some detailed targeting. They have to like at least one of these things. You can actually go pretty deep into some of this stuff. I don't recommend it. I just don't recommend it. If you know more and you're getting awesome results by going deep and creating more filters, awesome. But I need all of you to get base hits now. And so I'm showing you the way that I know works, which is use the right zip code, use the right town, and bracket the right age, and then set your budget. So this is a property valuation landing page, okay? We're running an ad for property valuation. So in that ad, you want to invest more money on your daily budget, at least $10 to $20 a day. I have typically said to people, run an ad for property valuation for $20 a day for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just on the weekends, because I think people are more slowed down. You can test it out. You might get during the week, but you got to figure out your own business. I don't know this entire country, right? Then set your start and end date right here. It's going to start when? Friday. It's going to end when? It's going to kick you out a month in the future, so don't let them do that to you. I'm going to end it February 1st. And it's telling me right here, your max spend is going to be $60. So we've had a lot of clients, and we train on this. They do this, and they will generate like 20 leads, 40 leads over 1 weekend for $60, seller leads. So that's, again, and I'm going to reiterate this because I want, what's going to work best for you. If you were using that Cole system, that Cole information system, and you're running Property Valuation Plus, you're going to get the most amount of leads. And with the technology integration of Cole information, you're going to get the most amount of contact information. That is the best way to generate leads, just bottom line, okay? So at this point, I'm doing $10. If you were going to run an ad like this, which is a single property website to tell people you're a realtor, or you're going to run something that looks like, well, this is just sold, right? You've seen these others. I had some other pages. The listing landing pages. Anything that's designed for branding, do not run for $20 a day. Run for as little as you can, $1, $2 a day. I'm seeing in some markets, they're putting a bottom of $5, okay? So get things out there as your budget allows, keep as many ads as you can, and just kind of go from there. So click the ad and create, right? Now, I want to point out, because you may not know this, you see it says $20 here. It says about 8,000 people on Facebook are going to see this, okay? And then 2,100 are going to see this on Instagram, okay? I'm going to just, if you watch those numbers, I'm going to change this to $10. And notice it drops. You're actually going to get less people seeing it. Just want you to know that. That's the reach. And the reach is great, but also the pay-per-click is great. Now, here's some great stuff right up here on the top of this next page, and it's awesome for confusing the heck out of realtors. I'm going to focus on what's going to just work right off the bat. If you want to get really slick and do some stuff and put some video and multiple images, I think multiple images are great, but I just want to focus on the easy stuff. This is what the ad's going to look like. It's not going to say sponsored by Listings and Leads. It's going to be sponsored by you, and that's the key to building a brand, right? It's going to say, hey, here is Pete the Realtor, right? Or it's going to say something like Las Vegas luxury homes. Whatever it's going to say that you want to build that brand on, that's going to be the brand. And whether you're running property valuation ads or whether you're running here's an open house or just listed or just closed, it's all tied to that brand, and that's important, right? Now, what's also important, when we started the call, I showed you some things on our blog that I know you probably weren't really excited to see. And I was talking about the language in those ads. And that is the whole point, is when you copy and paste, notice, you remember, I just pasted this link in here, and here's what it says. Find out the value of a Lafayette home value now. And you know what? I don't know. What do you think? 80% of the realtors that are signing up with Listings to Leads right now are just running this ad just like this, right? It's just like, that's it. That's plenty for me. And it works because that's why they built it. It actually doesn't work that well, right? It actually, the default language is not great. Frankly, it's boring, right? So the bare minimum is to say, my favorite kind of message, click here to get your automated, online home value in less than 15 seconds. And you know what? This has worked for a lot of people. But when I was showing you that blog, there were great ideas. These homes are selling in less than 30 days. These homes are selling, in 10% over asking. This is going to get people motivated. And that's what you got to think of. What motivates somebody to sell their house? I mean, you're in real estate. You must have a few ideas about that. So when I change that language down here, it changes it right up here. This is what people are going to see up on the right. Lafayette home values, right? I'm going to just change it just so that you can see. Lafayette home values, I actually don't mind. To home values now, right? And when I change that language here, it's going to change it right underneath the photograph. Home values now, okay? And then there's that learn more button. And then here it's on the mobile feed. You want to test whether mobile works. And I'll tell you, again, mobile means it's going to be visible on smartphones. And yes, to Pete's question, some pages are mobile optimized, but is the timing right to be on mobile? Is it better to build your brand during the week on mobile, or is it better to ask people to fill out multiple pages on a website on mobile? You got to think about that. Mobile on the weekends could mean I'm sitting there watching the Super Bowl with an iPad in my hand. So that's definitely a time to use mobile. But that's what that is. Then you place the order, and at the end of that order, the end of that ad, like 5 days or 3 days or whatever you're doing, it's going to tell you that Facebook is going to say, here are the results. This many thousands of people were reached, and here's how many people clicked on it. And then you can look at that and go, wow, you know what? It reached a lot, but a lot of people didn't click. If a lot of people didn't click, you might want to work on that language, and that's why I started this call with that blog and the kind of language to use, okay? So let's close this. Or I'll stay here. Are there any questions here? So do you recommend using stealth Facebook pages anymore? I really don't know what those are, Dylan. There are so many things. There's so many agents that are much smarter than I am. Scott does a lot more of this. And I believe that you have to build a brand. And all of our clients do use a brand, right? Does reach go up if you deselect mobile? Not that I'm aware of. And I appreciate all these questions, everybody. Keep them coming. Should we use Instagram? Yes, William. I would use Instagram for a while and see if it's becoming useful. Actually, there are realtors right now creating tremendous business with Instagram, and here's why. Instagram is a photo-based social network. So is Pinterest. And wherever photos dominate, you're able to get some traction there, right? A generic page like townhome values. Yeah. Dylan, I understand. Townhome values works, right? That totally works. Yeah, so you can do that. Yeah, sorry. Should we use Instagram? Do you recommend not use? Yeah, okay, thank you. Blah. Yeah, okay, good. So guys, if there are no more questions, I'm going to go back to Listings to Leads and wrap up with kind of a, how-to question. If you get stuck anywhere, there's a page right here that says Contact Support, and 3 people are watching this all day. Put your question here. I'm not really a fan of this chat panel on the right, so if you put your questions here, we get them. Everybody's watching this, including Scott. And so we know if you're getting the right answer or the wrong answer. So that's what I recommend here. There are tutorials here, but then also on our homepage, excuse me, is the Facebook advertising section, online tutorials here. And then this is the link to the mastermind group. And I definitely recommend you get on our mastermind group because people are getting, they're sharing their questions, but also they're sharing their ideas of like, this is what's working for me right now. Okay. So it's not just us talking, it's our clients talking. Many times Scott is just saying, hey, I just, you know, I just got this from a client. I'm going to show you. Right. And so that's it. Come to our mastermind group. I really recommend if you got some downtime, scan through this, right? Because there's always new stuff coming up. Scott's pulling out the latest, and we're going to try more available. But you definitely want to know. You don't want to try to reinvent everything. And that's it. That's really the Facebook call. So, and it's just over an hour. So everybody, thanks so much for your questions. Thank you very much for your time. I am going to put this recording up on YouTube, and I'm going to put it, let's see here. There we go. I'm going to put it in our mastermind group and on our other public-facing group. So please, you know, if you need it as a resource, go right back to it. It's going to be there for you. Thanks, everybody, for your time. Oh, I do see some more questions. So while that's thinking, let me see if I can answer those questions. You're welcome. Thank you, Sally. Is there a how to create multiple addresses on Google Maps? No. Nope. There might be on YouTube. You know, there might be on YouTube, but there's not for us. I was also told not to use the right-hand column. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the right-hand column, and you can deselect that. So I would. And again, Shonda, things like that, you got to test. Run it 1 week with the right-hand column, run it 1 week without, and see what's working for you. Because I'll tell you, you know, we're nationwide. We got clients in the far northwest of Washington, and we've got clients all the way down in Florida and all across the country. And we have seen that many things do not work alike in different parts of the country. Many things do not work the same. So it's really, you got to test it out. Yeah, so Greg, you saw it on the mastermind group, you know, kind of ask that question in the group, like, how'd you do that? But I don't know if we have that. I don't have that. So thank you. Everybody, again, thank you for your time. And, you know, check us out on the mastermind group. I should have this up here online later today. Thanks again, everybody.